Trev's Hockey Show. I'm the Trev. Sweet. So, we're continuing with my favorite players from every team of all time, or at least since I've been watching hockey. And I'm not gonna lie, I honestly didn't think I was gonna make this one this quick. But, no better time like the now, right? So, having said all that, let's talk about my favorite Montreal Canadiens of all time, or that I've watched. It's a brief little history lesson for you. The Montreal Canadiens are the oldest team in the NHL, actually predating the NHL by 8 years. So if you're doing mathematics, they've been a club since 1909. In their 112-year history, as I'm recording this, they're competing in their 35th Stanley Cup final, having won the Cup 24 times, 23 in the NHL. Their first one was the last team to win it in the National Hockey Association. So between two leagues, they've won 24 cups. Could be 25 by the time the end of the season rolls around, but let's not get too far ahead of ourselves here. Anyway, lots of Hall of Famers come and go through the Montreal system. Some drafted, some signed, some traded for, but either way, Hall of Famers all the way around. Like, I couldn't count on fingers how many Hall of Famers there were, and even if I got close, I'm sure I'd miss somebody. But I'm only talking about ones that I've watched since I've started watching hockey. And not to date myself, but I didn't start watching hockey till the 80s. So I missed out on some good ones, but I caught some better ones. Of course, that's all in perception. So either way, let's start talking about it. And the system I'm going is the same as the system I always go. One goalie, two defensemen, three forwards. Doesn't matter the forward position. They could be three centers. They could be two wings and a center. It doesn't matter. Three forwards. So let's do it. Of course, this list has to include Patrick Waugh. Because like I said, grew up in the 80s, 90s. Waugh was goaltending in Montreal. And really, without Waugh, there's no 86 run, there's no 93 run, and there's no run in 89. I mean, really, you want to get a look at how good he is, think of everything he did after he left Montreal. But might not be the greatest goalie in history, but he certainly revolutionized the butterfly style. You cannot take that away from him. So, fun, dynamic, and an exciting goalie to watch at the best of times. And Chelios, in my opinion, when he came to defense in Montreal, was a good grit sandpaper defenseman. I mean, he held the play as long as he could, and he made it hard for the offense to get the goals in. I mean, granted, he was only in front of probably one of the best goaltenders of all time, so I mean, a lot of it wasn't work, but when he had to work, he earned it. And the fact that he went to Chicago so early in his career kind of put me in shock and awe, but it was fun watching him as a Canadian, to whatever end that led to. Now you want to talk about lifers in the NHL. Andrei Markov spent his entire career with the Montreal Canadiens, and he wasn't the flashiest of defensemen, but goddamn, he can definitely set up the point and play when he had to. Very rarely did he ever finish in the plus-minus category, but when he did, it wasn't drastic. It wasn't phenomenally huge. But I mean, when you needed him to get the points, he got the points. He got 500 of them in just under 1,000 games. So I mean, and the fact that he's Russian doesn't hurt either. Needs some of that Russian influence. Now, I include Stefan Richer in this list because when I started watching hockey, he was your goal scorer. He got himself a couple of 50 seasons, and that's never a bad gig at all. So I mean, it was more for his scoring ability than anything else. But when he was scoring in buckets, and sometimes they were all highlight reel goals. Can't say no to watching an exciting player score a goal. I've always been a fan of Vincent Dunn, even the one season he played in Edmonton. And I say this because no matter where he went, he was always good and guaranteed for at least 40 points in the season. And when he was with Montreal, there were some seasons he was dangerously close to 100. Never really close to 50s. I mean, there was one season where he scored 40, but always close to a 100-point guy and always a legitimate offensive threat. I would never mind a guy like that on my team. It's just fun watching Tatar play and come into his own. And what a steal that the Canadiens got out of Vegas when they acquired him. Really, his offensive totals have gone nowhere but up, minus this last season. And who knows, if he keeps playing the way he's playing, he might actually become a threat. And with a last name like Tatar, and listening to the way they announce it in Montreal, like between the announcers and the fans, it's one of those things that's just, it's insane to listen to on a good day. But I think Tatar is definitely a player to watch for the future, regardless if he stays in Montreal or not. So that's another one of Trev's hockey shows. Well, thank you for tuning in. Don't think I don't appreciate the gesture, especially if you're here. It's that helping each other out thing. Sharing is caring. All that fun stuff. So, while you're here, hit that like button. And then hit that subscribe button over there. You know you want to. Subscribe makes you feel good. And we're going for 100. And if you saw the total, we're getting close. Eventually. All my socials in the description down below. Moving forward, I've got another prediction video for you. And it's probably the last trophy for the season that I'll predict on. Because I think it is the last trophy for the season to predict on. But either way, in the meantime, and in between time, be looking for more videos from Trev. Later.